Greetings, my venerable YouTube friends. How goes things in your world today? You can see, I sincerely hope, if this uploading works well, that I'm not late, contrary to popular things that I said last week, because it turns out I have to be a lot faster than I thought. And actually, I had to get all the packing pretty much done by yesterday. I've still got some stuff to do, but as you can see, I'm just going to show you. It's all empty. There is nothing there except for on the table. Yep, there's still stuff on the table, and that's going to go in the suitcase. But, oh, tripod. Yeah, there we go. There is indeed nothing. I'm all packed up, and actually, as a result, this week was somewhat difficult making these little doohickeys because, look, masking tape. I had to tape up all the boxes, so cutting them out, and they got stuck to this rather a lot. So if I inadvertently don't select yours, well, in fairness, it'd be hard to tell if I didn't select yours because it got stuck to this and fell on the floor, or it got just not selected. There's 263 this week. Wow, that was a really nice unplanned segue. Yes, 263. Thank you very much to lots of people, mostly on the Ning, but also on YouTube and my friends on the Facebook group. So thank you to those people for sending in their suggestions. So we have 263 in the book this week. So that's going to be a fun selection later on. But now we're going to give you an extract from the chapter that is entitled Undiscovered Writing Utensils. Now this particular bit of this chapter, it's a very long chapter, this one, and I only finished it this morning. But this particular bit is for all my American and British subscribers, who I'm pretty sure comprise all of my subscribers, but anyway, this particular bit is for you guys. July the 4th, 1776 was one of the most important days in American history. It marked the day when the 13 colonies were in fact no longer colonies, but instead declared themselves an independent nation, free from British imperial rule, and free to do what they would in their newfound freedom. It was still celebrated to this day, with fireworks, music, and all-round wondrous revelry in what became, on that day, the land of the free. George Washington was one of the principal architects of this document and the American Constitution, and was also a man with more than a little sense of irony and humour about himself. He was a man who understood the power and influence of symbolism on a nation's character, and after July 4th he wanted not only to deliver a sharp message of great achievement and celebration to the American people, but he wanted to send a stinging insult to the British, a message to their government that they would no longer be able to deal with the colonials as subservient anymore, and that they were now free to live, but also free to laugh. This would be, for Washington, a well-crafted political message, since a message of American smugness and general superiority of themselves was needed to encourage people to forget that it was in fact the French who saved the day in the last battle of the War of Independence. Washington did not want America to become a pawn in imperial power plays, and felt... I lost myself. And felt the symbolism he had in mind would remind them of that. Upon signing the Declaration of Independence, he took the quill he used and went to some of the finest engineers of the day and ordered them to seal it in an airtight container made of glass and framed steel so that it could be put on display and seen by all. He claimed this was all for posterity and the benefit of future generations, but the valve tube that he stored it in never got up on a plaque in the White House or Capitol Hill. Instead, he sent it aboard a smuggler's ship to be delivered by several underhand men of the sea to England and specifically to London. Once in London, the box itself may reach the King of England and only the King, but it would, Washington hoped, send chills of defeat down the spines of the British and have them feel demoralised at their loss of their precious acquisitions in the West. However, the plan did not quite go as Washington intended, or rather it did, but more so than he wanted. The underhand men of the sea were in fact so underhand that when it reached London, the secret was maintained under the impenetrable veil of the British stiff upper lip. No gossiping, no demoralising, no chills, just the continued British spirit of carrying on. The quill did indeed reach the King, sort of. King George III was mad at the time, and still somewhat, and according to the records, at the time of the valve's arrival, he believed himself to be one of the original purple carrots that had retained pureness, despite the Dutch and their attempts to make every fruit and vegetable a pure and effervescent orange. Thus, the British civil servants who received the package were not of a mind that His Majesty could be dealing with this kind of bizarre shock, and so a plan was hatched. Washington's insulting pen was to be lost in the labyrinthine network of the Royal Post Office. By lost, meaning that it was intentionally bounced perpetually between many fictitious addresses in the network and kept from prying eyes for all of perpetuity. It is said that this quill is one of the most closely guarded secrets of the British establishment to date, since it has not been found, and I'll leave it there for you. So yes, that's this week's extract of the chapter entitled Undiscovered Writing Influence. They're discussing a strange quill that was indeed apparently lost to time as a result of Washington's general insultingness. So now, we're going to do a bit of selecting this. So let's have a look, poke around. Let's see. I was excited about this bit because it means I have to now spend a couple of hours thinking. This week, actually, it was possibly the hardest yet. I mean, granted, okay, it's only out of 3, but pretty hard. Okay, poke around with the fork, give it a good stir. Alright, let's make sure the fork's got no chapters left on it. Alright, there we go. Around to, oh, drop one. 246. 246, okay. I'll just show you, just so you believe me. Look, there, 246. Ooh, yeah, okay. 246, so that is pretty high up. Okay, this could be difficult. In the foothills of Mount Karkutai. In the foothills of Mount Karkutai. By Ben Trow. Ben Trow knows who he is, so don't worry, I know him as well. So yes, 200. I'll show you that as well, so if you can see that. In the foothills, and there's the number 246 just there. So yeah, it's real. I'm not just doing this because I know the guy and choosing it to be friends with him. No, this is true. There are indeed bots in here. So yes, the foothills of Mount Karkutai. Karkutai. I'm going to have to work on pronouncing that and then coming up with an idea for the chapter next week. Which one will take longer, I don't know. But anyway, thank you very much for all of your suggestions this week. Keep them coming, please. The YouTube suggestions have been down in number of late, and that's bad. I want more people on YouTube, because YouTube is kind of the principal medium of this. But as always, the full chapter will be on the blog, and hopefully to see more of your chapter suggestions down there. Unfortunately, down is a universal norm, so pointing left and right for the sidebar is just yeah. So yes, hope to see more chapter suggestions soon, and look forward to the chapter next week in the foothills of Mount Karkutai. Probably should find out where that is too. Anyway, bye-bye.